Hey guys, if you make cutting boards or butcher blocks as part of your business or hobby, you're going to want to see how this simple jig and the other jigs in the Craft Elements line can change your life. Watch this. All right, so this is our bottom hand grip jig, which is going to allow you to create hand grips on the bottom of your cutting boards within just minutes. Now you're going to go ahead and create a center line that lines up with the center of the jig. You're going to get some two-way template tape or some woodworking tape and affix the jig to the edge of the cutting board. You're going to want to grab a router with a shallow depth cutting bit with a bottom mounted bearing that'll ride along the template here. Otherwise, you can use any other router bit along with a router bushing that will again do the same thing. Now you're going to want to do this in multiple passes, setting your router bit high at first and then lowering it with each consecutive pass until you get the depth that you want. Now let's flip it over and use our other router to show how you can do this with a router bushing version. Now this router has that rounded bowl bit with a router bushing that's a little bit larger than that bit, and that router bushing is going to go along the edge of this jig and allow you to effectively do the same thing that a router flush trim bit would have done. Go ahead and pop the jig off the board and it is done. We can stand these up and continue to finish our cutting board. Now let's say we wanted to put some cutting board feet to raise this entire board off the ground. Well, we have a jig for that as well. Check this thing out. This is the Crafted Elements cutting board foot pre-drilling jig, and it's offset from 0.5 to 2 inches, so you can easily pre-drill holes on the edges of your cutting board to install feet. Watch this. Now, if you're like most woodworkers and makers, you do appreciate quality time-saving jigs and tools, which is why we have a complete line of jigs, templates, tools, router slides, and more at craftelements.com. Check a look at some of the featured jigs here, like our 2-in-1 center point marking and offset jig that allow you to find center on any piece of material up to 5.6 inches wide and mark offset lines. Or our saw and router depth bit height gauge, which allow you to set the exact height of your table saw blade or your router bit up to 3/8 inches in diameter with this super simple jig. Now, if making cutting boards and butcher blocks is your thing, in addition to the jigs I demonstrated here, the bottom hand grip jig and the corner foot drilling jig, we also have an equivalent jig for pocketing grips into the sides of your cutting board, not just the bottom. Plus, the Crafted Elements juice groove jig, available in 2 different sizes, is a super easy way to create juice grooves in your cutting boards and butcher blocks. You can find all these jigs and more, plus 300 other templates and tools at craftedelements.com.